Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So yesterday, I lamented about how our time is not fungible, right? You cannot put extra time that you have to kill today into a bank to draw down on later, right? It would be really nice if we could, right? For one thing, unemployment would be a thing of the past, right? You wouldn't have unemployment anymore. You would just have surplus time to put away, right? Wouldn't that be beautiful? For another, if you save a couple seconds doing something, it's actually worthwhile now, right? Think about how many times we kill time during the day, right? Or my favorite example is that you might lament about having to stay on hold when you call somebody on the phone. You might lament about traffic. But the truth is, if all of that disappeared, you would be left with little segments of time that you still couldn't do very much. Or you would just find another way to waste it, right? Imagine you could combine all of that together, right? The possibilities are endless. I would imagine if time became fungible, it would feel like we had probably at least 30 hours in the day. Leave a comment. What might change if time became fungible? I think the biggest change is that people would no longer be unemployed. I think that would be the biggest change. They would just have surplus time that they could even give to somebody else, right, who needs it, or they could put it aside to use later on. Just like if you had surplus money, right? Surplus money can be put somewhere, time can't, right? That's the most frustrating, or not very easily anyway, right? That's the most frustrating part of it, right? But even if you didn't have fungible time, see, I often lament about how I need to eat. I really hate eating for two reasons. Number one, it takes up time, money, resources, whatnot, right? That's the obvious part. Number two, if I have to eat, I also have to stop eating. I know that sounds weird. It is so much easier for me to just not start in the first place. But that's a quirk of mine. That's why I prefer to eat once a day. That way, if that one meal doesn't stop, it's only one, right? Now, what would happen if instead of needing to eat every day and how about sleeping, right? Instead of needing to sleep every day, all you have to do was average 2,000 calories a day. It didn't matter if you ate once a year. It didn't matter if you ate once in a lifetime as a lump sum, right? And all you have to do was to average 8 hours of sleep, right? You could sleep more during the winter time if that suits you. Maybe during the summer heat, you don't like the summer heat, you could sleep more. Whatever suits you, right? Maybe when you're unemployed, you could sleep up more and bank up that time so that when you have 3 jobs, you could actually juggle them, right? How might your life change if you could eat and sleep like that and bank it up and it were fungible? I'll let you pause the video to think about that, because I think a lot of people overlook the huge benefit that that's going to come with. Well, for one thing, you could sleep through all the difficult times throughout your life, right? Recessions, pandemics. You just broke up with your significant other. Maybe I wouldn't sleep through that, but you're waiting for something, right? You could sleep through that, right? You have a difficult situation, a death in the family. You could sleep until everything is back to normal again, right? I don't know if I would want to sleep through a death in the family. I think I want to be there for my family, but certainly pandemics and recessions I would sleep through, right? And more importantly, you could bank that time for when we're out of the pandemic to really further your career, right? Now, for the eating part of it, I'll let you pause the video to think about. Certainly, I would stop eating during an inflationary period like right now, but also, if I could eat once a year, I think my food costs would go way down. Let me give you an example. So last year when I was living in Seattle, I got to know a Ukrainian refugee, and we didn't talk for several months, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from her. She's doing well. She's back in Ukraine now. And I'm thinking one of these days I might go visit her And when I do that, I could eat for the rest of the year because food is so much less expensive over there and probably more interesting over there compared to the food choices I have back home, right? And so I could save a lot of money. It might even just pay for that trip. The savings would pay for the trip to Ukraine, and plus I would free up all this time when I'm back home at work. When I have to juggle 5 jobs and compete at the Computer Olympiad, I could free up all this extra time, right? It really goes to show the utility of something being fungible, right? That's why I really love bismuth, right? Because it's a fungible form of money, right? Unlike the NFTs or the cryptocurrencies that they keep inventing new ones. There's only so many metals on the periodic table that one can reasonably use as a currency, and I think bismuth is one of the best ones, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.